Welcome to some general uses for the chain block. Many of them, chain block is quite an interesting block because it's really diverse. And like it's just a chain. You've got, and can be used in a lot of situations. Like this one, meat locker. You can make the meat out of nether wart block, netherrack, and red glazed terracotta, and it looks like it's hanging from chains. This looks quite nice. It looks fitting, especially with the block of iron and sea lantern in there as well. It looks, well, like a fridge, meat locker, hangman. It can, this is just a proof of concept. It's not built. I would have probably used a full block there. It's not the best. That's something that's undesirable. But you get the idea in that it can hang stuff. And it can be like doing whatever. But I'd have to say probably my favorite use of the chain block would be most definitely for atmosphere. Atmosphere is amazing for this block. Without in this scene, the chain block really makes the old dungeon vibe. You feel like you've been in dungeons like where people were chained, and with the almost weird looking blood spider. I preferred the dots, but with this it looks very much like a dungeon. Mount these just doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel like a dungeon. See, it just feels odd. It doesn't feel right. Next one, old mine. You can also see under here I used some, also right here, just add some kind of texture. It's almost like texturing, yeah. Here you can have a elevator. Look up here, I just have the chains going into the stone. This isn't necessarily functional, but this is more just aesthetic because it doesn't have anything you can. If you don't have that, then you can't really jump over it unless you break it, jump off, and then put that back there. This one, I wouldn't really suggest. It's not too good, unless of course you're on like a kind of a, what is it, faction server, and you have a iron golem spawner. I wouldn't suggest on this, simply because mobs can spawn in between, in the middle, so pretty much anywhere. Skip skeleton and other mobs have a similar hitbox, and they can spawn anywhere in a block, so they can spawn like right here. This causes some inefficiency because then you've got one of mob spawns right here. It's gonna be there forever. Not there forever, at least until it despawns. Next one is just some other stuff, pathing, texturing, this lighting. Here you can see just some general uses for chain block, as in lighting. This can be used to hang kind of a hanging lantern, if you will. It looks nice. You may just want to go with a more traditional one if you want, but I think this looks nice, especially in this kind of situation. Next one is Wrecking Ball. This I wouldn't. The ball is too big for it. Like that's the only thing. This one, if the proportions were better, it'd look a lot better. You can imagine a crane also there. Some type of, I don't even know what they have on wrecking balls. Like whatever they have to use to do wrecking balls, but as you can see, it works as kind of a wrecking ball. This one's a little too big. I suggest on a smaller one because it doesn't. Full blocks would probably work better, but then it just looks like an extension, and you know, it looks weird. The 8th one is the hanging table. Okay. Which is quite useful for kind of just some just like a dining hall. Although it isn't historically correct, which I came to find out when I searched it up. Oh, okay, yeah. But I came to search it up, couldn't find anything. Then I found inspiration for a hanging lantern. This one isn't that good, but then again, none of these are really meant to be a copy type of thing. All of these are meant to be really like ideas. Just kind of proof of concept, if you will. Here you have the hanging lantern. It looks a lot better with this, especially rustic ones, like medieval hanging lanterns. And here's the most obvious one, lighting. Lighting. Lighting is probably the most obvious one with the lantern. As you can see, it already has a chain on there. It's a little less obvious, but this one is definitely the one of the most versatile uses of them. As you can see, with varying heights, it can look a lot better in general. You can even use cauldrons to kind of add some texture to it. I wouldn't suggest adding it all the way around, but it certainly does work. Next one. These are I wouldn't say these are the best, but you got some got a hang upside down garden. This can be I guess this would work best as a prank on your friends. Maybe you flip their house upside down and you need to be able to put their garden. This one's a hot air balloon. It's not very complicated, but it looks nice. It's very small. I feel like it would work in a sky base. Last one is a museum exhibit, which has just kind of some chains hanging off of the ceiling. So yeah, this has been Olive Boy. I am